Hello, this is Jer. This is the Nightmare series of Oxygen Not Included. I'm on the radioactive ocean asteroid that is metal poor and has a frozen core. Absolutely terrible place to be. As if it wasn't bad enough, all the game settings are on the maximum hardness, and we don't have teleportation or care packages. Enjoy! Welcome! I'm starting off today by starting to grow more bristle blossoms, since I've got more seeds. So I'm going to put in, let's see, I can see that I will probably get some critters escaping, but we'll go ahead with that anyway. Let's see here, maybe I can get a path out like this. Though I see some salt water, so why don't we put in a little spot for that. Also put one of these to the right. Now, maybe I'll get lucky. I don't think I will. But I'm going to click on this and make that a high priority thing. Most certainly. Oh! We'll keep watching on this one. Just noticed there's gonna be a problem with this setup because this tile here would not be consuming water, it would be consuming the brine. There we go, that's nice. Nice to catch those things before they happen. Probably a greater chance of this being completed quickly if it's made out of cobalt, since I've got so much of that now. Well, come on now. Someone could throw in some cobalt. We'll be back on our... Whoa, did I put iron? Yeah, let's do change that out for iron as well. Yes, but cobalt right there, that probably needs some water as well. We can start to remove, I don't know if we can remove all of the mealwood, but we'll get rid of at least 4 more pieces. Just want to take you through a couple comments Cedric had on this rocket, what could be improved. Well, starting on the left here, they mentioned that this may not be necessary. Well, kind of makes sense. I've got 2 filters system for that. Over here, this might be something to consider. If I get rid of this tile, I could do something similar to what I have on base with the auto sweeper that loads another fridge. The only thing I have concerned about that is that other fridge might have food that goes bad, because if I land somewheres, I might forget about it. But it is a good thought. Another idea is to raise this, have it floating. Doesn't necessarily have to be on the ground, which is kind of cool. That might be useful if I start to get more tables across. They mentioned that thimbleweed might be a good option to grow. And my own... Oh yeah, there's one other one, which I might do now, actually, since this will be an easier... Oh, maybe not easier, but they mentioned that you might want to split up your loading of oxygen. I have to work around that, but you know what, maybe I'm just going to leave that. But the idea is, if I've got several of these guys, you might want to split it here and have them load equally, or somewhat equally. In fact, if I have more, you could split it twice along the way. Cedric's comments are awesome. Nice thing about them is they actually have time points on the videos that show what the advice is. So have a look in the comments for any of these. It's super useful. All right, let's have a look over here. I see I can get 2 of these growing. We did not end up with any Dracos down here, which is nice. Digging out a path there. I guess we can cancel that. Sorry, astronaut. Maybe next time. Just going to take you through my plan, more of my long-term plan. Once I have more blossom seeds, my plan is to get a pip up here. I don't know if I'll have to relocate these guys, but I'll get a pip up here. We'll plant some wild ones, similar to have up here where I go 3 blossom seeds. tree planted, and so on, just so I can have one stable that doesn't need to grow as much in planter boxes using resources. Just noticing we don't have any sage hatches, and that's because this setting didn't get applied right. That was supposed to be below 2. So now this guy has been enabled, so make sure that's a higher priority. It's going to get a dupe to send sage hatch over here. So I've got sedimentary rock right now for them to eat when they come into this room. Oh, engineer, you trapped yourself, didn't you? Oh, we've got trapper rovers too. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, someone needs to dig this out for us going forward. Run, engineer, run! I've got to make it to the toilet. We may have a bit of an urgent situation. These critters or plants are not happy because it is getting too warm here. I think that should be pretty easy to do if I open this up, so let's go down in that direction. So cancel that, or take that out. Get a ladder going down. We'll come up with a plan. Now have the super sustainable achievement, so I can produce other types of power other than hydrogen, but probably don't need to. Well, assuming that if I can fix this situation that we've got going on right here. We're just at the point where they're hovering between happy and unhappy, but let's make sure they're healthier than just that. I was just thinking to myself, I want to go on a space mission, and I want to get some of this cobalt ore off. So first of all, I'm going to have to dump it on the floor because dupes aren't going to pick up anything. Well, I've got to ground it state in a bin. What else? We got that there. Some more of it there. But I was thinking to myself, instead of having the dupes have to go from here inside the rocket all the way down here, why don't I just send it here? And then I can get the rovers to work on moving that later on. So I think that's exactly what I shall do. Cobalt, copy that. Both of these. Now, hold on. If I don't want to see the rovers pick it up from here. You know what? Let's just dump this out just to avoid any confusion. And we'll get the rovers to take it down later. Okay, it didn't quite work because rovers are just taking the stuff that's on the floor. I'm going to hit sweep only stuff. Now I'm going to go in the rockets and make sure I sweep everywhere's here, or at least everywhere's where I believe there to be cobalt. Now I should only be seeing dupes take stuff here. Yeah, the rovers are now bored, so I've got to find something for them to do. So we have removed 40 tons, it looks like, of cobalt. I'm going to throw that on the ground. And then click this again. What that's going to do is get the rovers to pick this up. Oh no, they're not going to do that yet, but they'll do that later. And move it down towards the base. I'm just going to check to see if there's any more cobalt. Yeah, quite a bit, which is awesome. Okay, so I'll let the dupes bring in some more. While that's going on, some bored little rovers can send some cobalt. Make sure this is just level 5. Copy that. Oh yeah, they're just... Well, let's just select everything. We're gonna load what is there. And once they're out that, then they're gonna go after this stuff here. So we're starting to have all kinds of problems. I see some brine here that's been held up because it hasn't been output there. What is the bet? Oh, you know, I'm just gonna simply have this go towards the water system. Probably the best thing. Here we are. And still making progress down here. Let's make that a priority. So another 40 tons. Do the same thing again. And we'll have a look inside the rocket and see where we are. So we've got 34 tons. This will be the last bit. We still have lots of gold amalgam. We'll go after some of that next. Just notice this guy says it is in heat production, even though it's not actually doing anything. So maybe we'll disable that. See if that changes that state. Okay, so engineer has disabled this, and I see it's no longer producing heat, and temperature is going down. Alright, that was a useful little find. And we've got more bins. This time we've got gold amalgam, gold, and aluminum. I think there's more gold amalgam that we can go after. So, now that I've arrived here, I don't actually know what is best to do. I think maybe just keep this really simple. It is still comfortable temperatures right now. I actually did add recent insulation here, so this should help. Perhaps we will extend that insulation around here. I don't like the idea of putting that around there, but we could always move this guy. Let's continue this along there. And let's open up the channel below just so that we can get nice coolness making its way up. I can always insulate this if it got too cold, but we'll move with that. Looking at the overall temperature of this space, it is getting pretty warm. Mostly from this area radiating over. I'm going to start. I've got this little bin, which I'm marking different pieces of ice to be swept. I haven't done that in a while. So I will start that up again. Perhaps we'll do some more digging for ice as well that we can take into that area. It looks like we've gotten everything off this rocket, so I think we're ready for another go. This time we're going to be sending... we'll send the same dupes. Make sure we've got Baker and Astronaut. We're going to go back to this asteroid where we already have a platform. We can begin the launch as soon as everyone's on board. The dupes are hopping inside. Now, inside here, they want to take their suits off because we don't actually have this enabled, but let's make sure we do enable that. But also, oh, you can take your suit off as well. We will deliver suits here and here. Let's make sure I don't need to click the button. Oh no, they're off. And they're going to be there in 0.3 cycles. So we just arrived, and apparently on this world, it has been snowing quite a bit. So we've got all this crushed ice and snow. So that is that, I guess. All right. So first thing I'm going to do, make sure I put the rocket here on all men, so the dupes can actually use this as normal. Plan is to make a rocket platform right here. We're going to have to clear out some snow to be able to take off, but we'll have a rocket designed to send rovers on this world. So we can actually send carbon dioxide down. We'll do that. Load this rocket, plus load this rocket as well. Let's see, I need to find something. Now, I just removed all the cobalt. Maybe I shouldn't have removed all of it. But where are we with the metal situation here? I don't think there was a ton to take back. We did clear out quite a bit of it. I do see some copper ore, though. Natural gas that we can take back. Before we get at that. Alright, so we can't actually get down here yet. Oh yeah, is that because this door is control? Okay, make note of that. Alright, I've got to make a plan, I guess. Making some rad pills. The dupes are looking a little green. I ended up choosing copper for this. That means I'm going to have lots of copper if I want rovers. So we'll have to mine that out around the base. Start to do some exploration for that. The first rover can help us on that journey once we get this created. So I would like some iron ore to make some steel. And there isn't a lot on this particular world. There is some. I did find a few places, which I'm definitely going after. But if I want to make steel, I might need to identify a couple of materials that is currently made out of steel. Let's start with fire pole here. Let's open up this perspective. Metal. Oh, it doesn't show you the color. It just says what is metal. Oh, that's not super helpful. Okay, I do see that there's iron from this point on. So what I'll do is I'll change that to cobalt. Have that switched out. This is probably also iron, so that's a good amount of iron we get back. If I switch this out as well. Probably a lot of the heavy watt wires too, actually. It was made out of iron, if that's the case. Oh yeah, okay, this is an easy solution to get my iron back. Go down and around. Let's go down like this. And then around. And continue on down here. That probably changes my objective, to be honest. So I want to build this to get rover. So yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Let's make sure we let the dupes out. I should have done that. But my objective now, then, is to produce some crude oil, or find some crude oil. I don't see a lot here, so I might actually have to produce some. Bring that back to the homeworld a little bit more. There's still some iron, so we'll go after that as well. First rover over here, so I'm going to crew this with, let's say, astronaut. And we'll get a rover to help out. Guess I sent this rover in a place they can't get down. It's an easy thing, though. They can just dig their way down. And we'll get started here. Once we've got enough to go on another mission, and we do, we will get another rover. So I did not plan this mission out well enough. If I had steel, that would have been a nice thing. But I am going to build this guy here anyways. We're going to bring some water towards it. Yeah, we don't need it to run. I don't want a lot of petroleum, so we should be alright. Maybe we'll even take the water that's here, even though it's pretty warm. Build a pump. We have a little bit of cobalt. We'll direct that pipe from here over. We will want to get Rover to continue helping out. So that is the piping. The power situation, on the other hand, let's build a battery. I've got to be careful. Remind myself not to connect in with a lower watt wire system without a transformer. So let's say, let's put this transformer here. Put that like that. We're gonna get rid of all of this. How to best deal with this mess? Build like a stairway across. Though I'm not certain that we actually need the solar panels. Actually, maybe we'll hold off. We will need one of these though. We're gonna connect this guy with the transformer. Put that in there, and we've got to continue on. Follow this pipe at the other path there for natural gas. That's going to produce some crude oil for us. We already have some, but I want a little bit more than that. Not a ton, but some at least. And time for another rover. Are we? Oh no. Let's check. Are we out of... No, we are not. We did have a little bit of sickness, though. What is going on with our carbon dioxide? What is going on with it? Oh, yeah, I raised the rocket. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, fair enough. On this world, I'm going to ask for some more steel. I need to make some iron ore first. Make 20 pieces. 22 pieces of that. Let's continue to add some ice here so this water that this guy is heating up stays cool. Looks like we don't have enough cobalt, so I will switch this wire out for something else. Let's have a look at what we've got left. Maybe iron. Be very careful about this next build. Going to build this out of iron. It is currently 63, cannot be above 60 or 75, so we are very close on that, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. So I'm going to reuse this pipe later on instead of creating another one. We're just going to wait for enough crude oil to create it first. We are going to need this pump turned on as well. Make that out of iron ore. If I want to take this iron back with me, I can always destroy those wires. The tubes are not doing so well over here. Let's have a look at radiation. Fine here, but I guess every time they fly up and down, they're being exposed to that. You know, I've never thought, why don't I add a bit of radiation protection inside this rocket, even though it's just for rovers? That actually might be kind of smart. Make that a priority thing. Just watching as water reaches the oil well. This is allowing this to start to run. Once I am comfortable with the amount of crude oil, and this doesn't get over 75 degrees, we'll turn this off. Let's have a look inside our rocket here. Let's just up. I'm still waiting for that. Okay. All right. I am satisfied with the amount of crude oil we have. So I'm going to destroy this and let that pump dry out. And we can use the rest of the remaining water that's on the way there. Now this is going to be the tricky bit. I need to store some crude oil. Wait a minute. I don't need to necessarily bring it inside the rocket because I only have a small amount. I'm going to see about adding a compartment to this. I'm at the point where I can split this pipe off and start directing this crude oil to go towards the rocket. So we're going to continue our path from here up. And we need to make the storage area now then. Let's build that in. That's going to be a liquid storage, liquid cargo tank. Just put a single ladder right there. And let's make sure we've got this going the full way. Oh, right. We need, I think, okay, this is the point. I think we're going to need, not this one. Oh, it's not this. Wait a minute. Is there something in here I can use? Ah, I see. I'm understanding now. Okay. All right. Liquid rocket loader. Put that right there. And then we'll need to trace the pipe right to this. Back in the home world, we're starting this project. We're going to have another natural area, this time for thimbleweed seeds growing this way. We're going to turn that into a few pip stables. In the lower part of my world, I've got lots of hydrogen here. Don't know if these guys will become overpressured in that or not, but oh, we'll see here in a second. Rising pressure. But what I thought I'd do, either case, is officially seal this. Oh no, it looks like it is emitting carbon dioxide for the time being. I'm seeing that flow down. Might need ladder here. Just realizing I built this, or I placed that in the wrong location. I'm going to say we want some... Oh, we probably haven't seen crude oil, actually. I'm just going to say any liquid, just throw in, because as long as I have liquid, the right type of liquid, we'll be fine. Let's crew this for one more rover, or maybe two, and then I'll place the loader right here. So with the shape of the rocket different now, I guess the dupes can't actually get up and down. Just trace a ladder up there so they can do that. I'm a little confused about this thing here saying that it can be built. Sending the last rover up with the remainder of the carbon dioxide. Also going to try out this port thing once again on the side of a port. Placing this item again. And it still says not linked. Okay, well now that I've got rid of this one, I'm going to put this right down here. I believe that needs a floor, and we'll just send the pipe to that location. I think it also needs power. connect that together like that. The only thing that confuses me with this is it says that it could be put next to a rocket platform or a rocket port. And I don't know what it means by rocket port. But anyway, we can destroy that, I guess. So I'm pretty sure this is going to work. So we're getting this... Oh, as soon as it gets built anyways. Okay, so now that I've got this, it looks like it's happy. We've got the pipe going to it. And we've got some crude oil on the way. So my plan is to bring this to the main base. Turn this into petroleum. And we're going to get a dedicated area that's... way too much ice. Okay, we're overdone. Let's stop delivering ice here. But we're going to cool this area so I don't have to manually bring ice back and figure out how to keep this guy nice and cool. We're going to do that. Plus, we're going to make an aqua tuner. Now, I do have lots of coldness in this world, but my thinking is I'm going to use the aqua tuner to keep the main base cool itself, which is at risk of being a little bit warm. That way I can save all this extreme coldness for keeping this guy cool for a little bit longer until I figure out a more long-term strategy. So this area here used to be the cooling liquid for the metal refinery, but we're retiring this whole area. Going to refactor it completely. We're going to get rid of the pump. We're going to get rid of the ice drop-off area. We're going to get rid... just realizing that the dupes aren't going to be wearing Atmos suits when they're in here. Maybe I should redirect that, actually. So what I'll do is I'll put a mesh towel here. And we'll go into this. So the plan is I'm going to send all the liquid down here. So we're going to drain it out. Once it's drained out, I guess we can do some of the dismantling of all this. I don't know why, but one of my favorite moments in this game is when you're draining lots of liquid. So I thought I'd share this with you. It's just going to go. It should be making its way down here. Going left and right of this guy, I assume. So we can start the dismantling of all this stuff. We have in here, we've got a thermo sensor, we got some logic. Take some of those components out. Auto sweeper will be removed. It's liquid drop off. So right now we can't run the metal refinery unless we have an alternate source of cooling. That's alright. So I'm gonna get, let's check back in the home world here in a second, see where that crude oil is, because once I get the crude oil in here, I'm going to be converting that to petroleum, and we're going to send petroleum in and out of the metal refinery. We are getting down to 7,000 calories, so we don't want to be hanging around here too long. Fortunately, we've got crude oil. I don't need a ton of that, but I'm happy with what we've got so far. I'm thinking we should start the process of bringing in some of the material that the rovers and dupes have been collecting and go inside the rocket. First of all, mark everything here. Whoops. I'm going to tell the dupes. Oh, let's put in some storage bins. Not a floating one, thank you very much. And I'll get them to direct some material to be brought inside. So I would like to send more rovers up to help get some of the projects that we're doing back in the homeworld going, except for the fact we're running low on carbon dioxide. Not exactly, But all the hydrogen is just pushing it way down here, so I need to relocate this pump further down. So I'll do that now. So we'll have a pipe go all the way up. Bring in some power. Use our conductive line for that. And it would probably be smart to open this area up and put in a sensor to detect carbon dioxide. Oh, I see that. Probably only going to get further down. Now I do have this area, so we shouldn't get any new hydrogen, and at some point I'm going to pump the hydrogen out of here. But I would like to get rovers first to go check on the dupes over here. Oh, no. Over on our oily asteroid. Nearly complete with crude oil. So continuing to push remainder in. It's probably getting... Oh no, we produced quite a bit of it actually. That's definitely going to be enough for our purpose of keeping the base cool. Metal refinery in particular. Dupes are just onboarding some material here before we take off. As I inspect this area, I see that this ice has potential to melt at some point. So I'm going to act now rather than later. Add in a single tile right there. We are down to 3,000 or so calories. Thankfully, we've got all the material that the rovers have been collecting on board it, so I'm going to get both dupes to start to head back home. Can begin that launch and take that crude oil with us. Just as we've got all this ice on the way, thinking to myself, why don't we put some airflow tiles in with the remainder of the time with the rovers? My thinking is we could end up with lots of ice, because I did not realize how much you could get, and I think that's because this ice isn't hitting the ground and melting, turning to water and going into space like it is here. So you can see that it pretty much goes away pretty quickly. So maybe that that'll be something I get my rovers to try out. I'll get them to do the similar thing over there, and we'll see what that looks like sometime in the future. So the dupes have arrived. First thing I'm gonna look really quick is this crude oil gonna go in a bad spot? Okay, whew. Actually, no, it wouldn't go out of there anyways, because I now need, just realizing, the opposite on this side, the liquid port unloader. And I'll put that maybe down here. Now that all the dupes are back, I think the priority is getting this area complete. So I'm going to remove some, or at least one of those, just so we can focus on this project down here. Because if I can get my carbon dioxide flowing again, I can get some rovers. The dupes on this rocket have not left. That is because I need to deliver some suits here, so guys, please do that so you can actually leave. Okay, they're on break. They've got no calories. I'm just gonna actually wouldn't mind disabling this anyways. Maybe we'll do that instead. One of the other dupes could actually do that for us. In the moment they do that, the cleaner's calling someone in to please do. Oh, the engineer's on it. Okay, so these dupes are hungry. Can't imagine you're gonna be on the phone very much. I'm gonna ground this so dupes don't actually do any production or use the utilities in that to get off. So this means that they're gonna be walking through here without Atmos suits. That's alright, because they'll go by here and put Atmos suits when they come back. Alright, so carbon dioxide should be coming into here. Before I do the next takeoff, I think it would be smart if we add some radiation protection inside here for the dupes. That's going to be sending a rover down, and let's check on the bottom of this base. A little bit of construction left. I don't think I'm going to bother with any filtering or detection, because if I remove some of this hydrogen, it's not going to damage the engine, and it's not going to take away from this whole system, because this whole area is now isolated. Though I could get a pump up here to take it as hydrogen. So that one will need to either be filtered or have some sort of protection. Okay, one last thing. Let's up that priority. While I'm waiting for that pump, let's put in a spot. I decided this is where I'm going to put in the processing for oil. So I'll have an oil refinery sitting right here. I need to get the crude oil. That's the input for this, which is right here over. So we're going to need the opposite machinery. The liquid rocket port unloader. I'm going to put that right there. Just checking. Is that going to destroy those tiles? Nope. Okay. Now I need to find a way to get this down. See this line? Oh, this is the old salt line. Let's use the old salt line. So we will make sure that this is disconnected from there. Very important. And let me make sure it's disconnected from there. I'm going to put a tile right here to make that a high priority build. Then we're going to take the piping going down from here and go towards the old salt line. We'll need some bridges. 1, 2, and we're going down here, down here. Okay, and this is where it ends. Why don't we drain this out? I'm going to cut this from there. So we'll connect ultimately to this line. This is perfect. Okay, this is working out. So then we're going to have the oil refinery, which will sit right here. That's going to have that crude oil go into it. Then we can have an output. I'll hold off on that just yet. Got some piping here we can clean up. Some other stuff we can take out as well. I see this system here. What is that? A dedicated transformer for that. We don't need that transformer running anymore. We'll get rid of that circuitry. Okay, so this pump is going now. That's going to be sending carbon dioxide towards the rocket, which is exactly what we need. And I'll send the dupe on a mission for a rover. Let's look inside. Did this actually get built? Not yet. I think that's a priority thing. It's going to give radiation protection to that dupe that's up there doing that. Just realized I did not mean to go through 2 of these, but since I did, let's just make sure that this is a priority build now. See, a pip must have planted this right here. They're lucky that this was an area that's too warm for this thing to grow. I'm going to do some insulation once that has been unearthed. This area built up, I can now destroy or utilize this. Maybe we don't want to have radiant pipe actually for the crude oil that's going through here. But I'll have that changed out. So the dupe up in space, I believe engineer cannot get down because this one little tile, we're going to make that a critical thing. The good news is we've got, let's go up this rocket, we've got protection. Could have a little bit more protection. I'm mostly safe. If you can't really control where they stand, But if you could move over here, that might be a little bit better for you. Don't worry, it won't take too long to get this out of the way. Now that we're down, just adding one extra layer. We don't really need anything here, but because the dupes are wearing Atmos suits anyways for breathability, so just radiation protection will do. I'm going to do some reshaping of this stable here. I believe I have 96 tiles. We want to end on 96. So I want to add, or essentially take this floor flat out. More or less like this. Which means I'm going to take away 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots. So I could add 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll just need one more somewhere. So we'll start with that. Bring this down like that, bring this down like that. So we can destroy this, take this out. But I'm gonna be careful because this was a location where the Atmos suits are being worn. So I'm gonna put this back like that for now. Make one of them high priority, just so we don't confuse where the dupes are with Atmos suits and without. So we can start to get a few pieces. So reshape this area. Let's just check. We are at 95, so we just need a single tile, and we're going to be back to normal. I'm going to wrangle 2 pips to put back in there. Actually, we've got quite a few pips around. I may have to deal with that situation soon. So we want to reroute this water system here. Make this out of insulated piping. We want to go save this area here for our cooling system for the metal refinery. We'll go around this area and up in this zone just like that. Oh no! Black hole. I'll try and reload, see if I can get back. I've reloaded. Just seeing if I can get this rover, or maybe this is the maximum amount of rovers that you can have. A second. No, it's looking good. Then maybe the issue was down here with this pipe that I had just installed. Perhaps going through these guys was an issue, so I'm going to go around them slightly. No idea. Or it could just be a coincidental thing that is just impossible to produce. Either way, I think we can keep going. So now that I've redirected this, I can get rid of this pipe. Let's design this cooling system for a metal refinery. It's going to operate with 2 steam turbines. I'm going to put one here and one right there. I'm going to run heavy watt wire in this little zone. We're going to have insulation, or rather vacuum underneath, ultimately. So we're going to put walls, and we're going to store liquid in here. Just so that we can easily maintain the temperature so these 2 machines don't become too hot. Let's separate the access right about there. Make that a priority thing. That way I'll be able to open this up so that the dupes that are here can get in. Take that out. I don't know that this needs to be insulated, but I'll make it out of that anyway, just to be safe. I'm going to check to see if I have miniaturized pumps. I do. Excellent. Okay, because I'm going to be making use of that pretty soon. some lead to connect some wiring. I'll make this maybe watt wire system just for future proofing. That's going to bring heavy watt wire down. But I got to get a pump in there. The idea is this section is going to be on the hot side, so I'm not going to be making this out of lead, that's for sure. But we're going to put a liquid reservoir, and this is where the petroleum is going to sit. It's going to sit right there. Once this is built, we can actually start the loading process for that. Maybe I'll make this section of it insulated. Or is this guy insulated as far as here to there? Like that. Now this isn't actually being brought in just yet, I guess because I have to reconnect that. I'm going to wait for this to be built first, because I don't want that hot crude oil just to be sitting in the pipes, because those aren't insulated pipes. Let's see if I can build this in. Okay, I can build that there. Awesome. This is going to be on the vacuum side. Technically, this really shouldn't be needed to be insulated, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I should be able to get lead here, just because this is not going to be in the hot zone. Over here, this is where I plan to have the hot zone. So we're going to insulate all around this hot zone. Make sure we get good coverage right there. At some point, we're going to need to have this go up like that. Be venting that out at some point. Control when that starts, though. System is not actually connected to power just yet. Just thought I'm going to actually move this over by 2. So this is where actually we're going to have aqua tuner really close to the power, so we don't have to run heavy watt wire too far along. Let's put this right here instead. We will connect this up like that. And I'm going to see if I can put in the first aqua tuner, thermo aqua tuner. Going to make this out of steel. Okay, there it is. Awesome. The idea is we're going to dig down. Let's see, I'm going to do this. Maybe I should fill this in here, actually, first. There's any future construction with the Atmos suits on the side. Maybe we don't put this after all in that particular location. Well, we've got to be careful. Let's fill that in quick. Make sure this thermo aqua tuner has some power. Let's see, we are short in steel. This doesn't have to be made out of steel, though. Get iron from here to here. So now I've got this available. I'm going to start filling that with some petroleum. So let's officially connect this area. We'll get that dumped in right here. Let's move some material. There's no point in having stuff trapped in there. Let's see what's how best to do this. Make a bin there and just throw stuff out of the way. I don't need to. Don't think I actually produced enough steel. Let's see, inside the rocket, the dupes aren't taking anything here. So I'm going to dump that on the floor. That's 400 pieces. That's still not enough. So I need to run this guy a little bit more. So let's, it's already been filled up. All I need to do is just make sure I dump some water. We'll dump the hot stuff right there out of the way. So I guess we won't be needing that seal after all. This construction is going on. I also decided to future-proof this a little bit more. We're going to get this little section built out just a bit so I can get lead. It doesn't have to be lead, but I'll get a conductive plate through right about here. So for that, I'm going to put in a piece there. Actually, technically looking at this, could do that right there, couldn't I? Let's do that. It's just going to allow me to bring heavy watt wire down through this area, so I don't have to do this a second time. So what I'm going to do is bring in this heavy watt. Oh, we've got a connection. You don't want that. Exactly for this reason. Engineer, come on now. Just gonna watch their movements very closely. So I don't want them to wear the Atmos suit forever. Okay, so I'm gonna get them to take their suit off. Let's make sure that this Atmos suit is moved out of the zone. And get the rovers to work on clearing the floor in here. I'll redirect this pipe around just a little bit further. Put tile right here. So the idea then, once I get this out of the way, I'll be able to seal all this off. Once this becomes a vacuum, that's going to be perfect. So yeah, I guess this insulation is not really necessary there, but why not? I'm going to do the same thing here. Right there and there. So please move that out of the way. There we are. Maybe. Yep. There we go. So the moment this is sealed up here and here, I'll be able to start the pump. Do not see any crude oil on the way. Let's investigate that. So we've got a pipe that goes all the way up here. Oh, this guy needs power. Okay, let's do that. Make this out of cool bolts. Connecting into our line. And I've got to select what is this is the unloader. You get to select what you take out. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So I want crude oil, though it should just be 100% crude oil. Yep, 9 tons worth. So the dupes and rovers have been clearing out this area. I see we now have some petroleum being produced and sent in here. I want to aim for about half a storage tank. See where we get. So I'm going to continue the insulation from this point on. We're also going to add in some granite tiles. This is just something that I want to be conductive. It's decently conductive. We'll do that to up to maybe this point. And then we're going to have a metal refinery. Let's see, would it be crazy to make this thing out of gold? Wait a minute. Oh no. That's not, what am I talking about? That's not an option. Decor plus 20. What else would give it decor? Might as well use granite. So that's going to sit right there. That's going to need, of course, the heavy watt wire system connecting into it. And we're going to have liquid go in and out. So this is going to be really hot stuff. Let's get rid of this pipe. We're going to use insulated pipe, of course. I'll even make it out of ceramic. Here and here. I'm just going to pause it so I can take a moment to think about how this is all supposed to go. I got to do the piping here as well. But let's concentrate on this. So the idea then is I want to have a radiant pipe. I'm going to make this out of some aluminum. That's going to go through here. So that's going to take the really hot petroleum, send it through these tiles to get really hot, and I'm going to produce steam, which these guys will consume. Before I forget, let's see, we don't have, this will be enough. We will go and take this water and have that dropped off here. Maybe we will do, that's going to be 100 degrees, this could be hotter. I'm not really worried about that being insulated with ceramic. So we'll just do that. We're going to make that out of cobalt. So that's going to dump water into this zone. The idea here is we want to have this really hot liquid. At this point, I don't need anything to be insulated. It could actually be made out of granite. So this is going to go here. It's going to go ultimately, we're going to stay away from this guy. This guy's going to go have pipes that go up and down. But we're going to want to go into this. Then we'll want to go out. Make sure we don't actually connect it, just avoid any confusion for the moment. We're going to go out. And this is going to be granite tiles. We'll just snake around just to get that extra little bit of heat from it that we can. Maybe not go in that direction. And what I need to do is set a priority order such that we feed this guy first, if we can. And if we can't, we'll go down here. So let's see, I'm going to have a flow in clockwise order. It's going to go in here. Ultimately, I want to go here first. If it can, it's going to go in this direction. If it can't, it's going to go in this direction, down, around. This stuff, which is coming out of here, extremely hot. Maybe I'll even put a few radiant pipes just here and here. No, let's just make that granite. That's going to go, that should take the priority. Let's see. So it's so hard to see at this point. Okay, I've got this stuff going in. That's going to feed into this at priority. I want this then to go like this. Okay, I'm losing track of things. Let's take this one away. There, I think this is easier to see like this. So I want to have this go, if this can't make it, then it's going to go into here. This guy then is going to override this. Like that. Alright, I'm just going to take a second to look at this in a little detail. Okay, I think I have my head around this now. The liquid that is coming out of here, I don't want this to be backed up. I want this to come out in priority. So we're going to go, maybe I will add extra insulated, or conductive rather, pipe right from here. So this is going to push out and overdo this. So the priority in this order going into this guy. And then we've got a priority loading this thing. And if this thing is full, we'll continue cycling through so we can get that heat exchange. And then the petroleum line will go down in that direction. I believe we finally have that. Okay, so haha, that is that little bit. Let's do this little section. So I don't have a lot of ceramic left. I would have liked to use that, but it's not essential. So what I'm going to do is make insulated pipe go up and down. Won't need to necessarily have this operational, but I definitely want to have this side of it complete in terms of what I'm building. Let's see, I don't know if this matters, but I'm going to put that like this, out of ceramic. We're going to make this insulate it. Put a couple pieces of ceramic where I can. Otherwise, this temperature, this material, igneous rock, is going to be completely fine. So the idea here is I'm going to take the temperature of this down below, and if cooling is needed, I will turn the thermo echo tuner on. So we'll need some logic. Let's not make that area out of lead, make that out of steel. Up to this point, we can switch to lead below. I think that is good then. Not that I necessarily need ceramic, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ceramic pieces that are out on this side and put it in here, because it's a lot harder to build in this area once it's all sealed off. Let's not forget this little area. I need to connect this little pipe just so we get a vacuum ultimately right here. At this point, I think the main thing is just waiting for this to load. In fact, I like the amount of liquid we've got in there. Just get it a little bit taller than that. But let's start to build this area again. So this is where the pips are hanging out. Ironically, this is going to be the staple. So I blocked the dupes from going in this direction. So I can actually let's do a bit of mopping first before we spill over. And we'll get this area. I can create a few doors. This is going to be made out of cobalt along this path. Just check here that we've got everything. Can see this pipe needs to be done. We've got liquid to be able to go in and out of here for cooling. This isn't needed in the future, so I'll get rid of that little... Oh no, that needs to be connected there. But I can get rid of that. Why don't we just put in a few more, since we've got it, pieces of aluminum, just to heat up some liquid as it's going round. And I think that might just do after that. Not sure if I'm going to want it or not, but I'm putting a thermo sensor in here with automation pointing up. Just, again, it's easier to do this now than later. The other thing I'm just realizing, I'm going to have to get the carbon dioxide out. Okay, so that is a later thing. I did cut this here so that the crude oil would start draining. The last little bit of petroleum will be on its way to this liquid reservoir. So this is an exciting moment. I'm actually going to seal this off and have let's see, just make sure no material gets thrown on this side. But yeah, I'm hoping I have everything in order. If not, I may be coming back to this point or rolling or getting back into this zone. I still have to decide how I'm going to take out that gas. One way is just to push in more water than I probably even need. I love watching rovers do things in parallel like this. So we're just starting to create some of our natural tiles way up here, so we can get in some thimbleweeds seeds. We've got this cool blue look to all these because they're cobalt. If I'm going to build this one, I want to take out a little bit of space, make sure there's a ladder for that construction. So there we are. We are complete. I just need to start to drop some liquid water into here. Do that right now. And we have achieved vacuum over here, so we can get rid of this. So I also need a tiny bit of liquid right here. So we're going to build a liquid vent. We'll start to put in some water there. Before I do that, I thought, you know what? Why don't I make this tile out of gold? It'd be easier to do this now than if I wanted to do it later, just for a little bit of decoration value. And get popped in here. I think really we're going to need a pump. We'll make this out of steel. Put it in the central area. Send some gas up here. Oh, hold on. That's going to need some power. Oh, what am I going to do about that? So I don't want to use heavy watt wire to go all that distance. So we're just going to go smallest little distance here. Of course, this doesn't need to continue to operate after the fact. But let's just connect in. I'm going to have to go a good distance. But it is technically temporary. Connect into that circuitry. Maybe we'll even give that lamp some light long term. Start pumping that gas, because I don't necessarily... Well, first of all, even if I threw liquid down here, I would need to have several of these open so the carbon dioxide could pop up and fight with it that way. I think it's just easier to pump it. That way I don't need to use as much water. This pump has started. Rover, can you please, thank you, move out of the way. I'm going to seal this back up. So we are at the end of cycle 300. So we have made 3 centuries worth of effort, still have survived. I still have all my dupes. No one has died. We've got to get, we've got over 500,000 calories of food. Not all of that is high quality barbecue meat, but still. I'm very excited to get this system online. Let's start the process of dropping in some water in here. I'm aiming to get... Hold on, actually. I just want to open up some of these guys before I do that. Not getting enough power to run this thing full time, so I think what I'll do is I'll just add an extra one of these. Let's bring this down, but we definitely want to take this out. Connect this part in with heavy watt wire and wrap this around. So this is going to be my first power, a conductive line that actually has 2 transformers going off it. You can put in up to 2. So we'll do this. And that. I think we are ready now to direct the petroleum to make its way around. Let's see. This is a good test to see if this actually worked, or I have to get back in here. Okay, that is making its way around. It should be going here in priority order, so put into the machinery first. Then, once that machine becomes full, it'll start to go down this direction. So there it is. This looks good. Got a few of these things emptied. Where are we with the liquid? Yeah, we definitely want to have some more. I'll aim for about 75 kilograms. Of course, we're getting priority down here. I'll wait. I don't know how much liquid to put in. You know what? That's enough. start to direct about 75 kilograms worth of material there. Where are we with our gaseous substances? That pump is working on that. I can see we've got an out of a line where I was supposed to be, so I'll do a little bit of patching over here to get this back. So the next thing I need to worry about is these two things operating or overheating. So we're going to put in some radiant pipes along here. I don't know if I can make that full amount. Let's switch over a little bit of steel. That should be good from this point on. Okay, so this is going to tie into our cooling line. Cooling line is way up here. But we also want to have that cooling line visit the aquatuner. So we're going to go have an input, go up along like this. Or that's actually the output, rather. This is the input. And we'll connect to the system up here. On the side, I can just use granite. Put something here. If it's, let's say, above 21 degrees, it can run. Let's design the pip stable. First one over here. Oh, I didn't really think this part through. Okay, let's make the door right here. Might have to kind of go over in a funny way. Oh, but I would have reed fiber there. Well, maybe we'll just go like that. And we'll get this one as big as we can. I'm going to put in the grooming station right there. This actually worked out decently. We've got 96 tiles in here. This little tile is forcing me to go out one over. I'll just have to remember, in fact, maybe I do this now. When I bring in an auto sweeper, I gotta make sure I'm touching that tile, just in case nag is laid right there. And to try to mark out the next stable. Oh, I see a pip has planted something there we didn't want, but let's worry about that later. So we want to get 96. So that's going to take us to having a door right here. So we'll put in maybe some natural tiles right in front. Could be something else. Figure out what that's going to be later. Get the cobalt natural tiles here where we can. Let's measure this spot out just once more to double check. So this is going to have me... Oh, pips, really? You have to be so quick. We're going to need to put a door right here. Let's see where we are. I think that is going to be good, actually. So same design. I will put one of these right here with some lights. We can start planting some things that we actually want to plant. Figure that part out. I'm going to have to trap some pips in here. Ooh. That's going to be an issue with these guys. Let's rethink what we're doing there. I temporarily want to trap some pips in here. What I'm going to do is tell all these guys that we want, no, not anything, but we want anything that's a seed at high priority that I'm sweeping. So we want to remove that from the floor right here. And I've got to figure out a plan. I'm going to make this temporary little cut right here. Taking away the fire pole temporarily. Let's make sure we put this back though. We're going to bring in some of that thimbleweed seed. So we have established a vacuum down here. Just adding some extra insulation around this line that's going to be going through. This means that we can turn this off. We also want to turn the power off of that pump. We can even get that, not the heavy wire, but the bridge. Take that out. If I left that on, this is going to actually bring in a little bit of steam, and that's probably going to break in this pipe here. We don't want to see that. Not that it really matters. But just to see everything stay clean down in this spot. So I can produce the first pieces of material in this new metal refinery so I make sure I use the right one. I'm going to do that. See lots of bad gases that are down here. So how about we just create a few airflow tiles here just to help with that. What am I making that out of? Uranium. Won't we switch back to cobalt for all the things metal ore based? Watch if any pips escape during that little project. Maybe I'll wait for the air to improve before I get the dupes to start producing anything over here. But I'll be very excited to give this a test. Let's start to get the aquatuner running. Make sure that we're visiting this area so these guys stay nice and cool. Let's see, I've got to make a cut there. So we're going to go in, let's see, the order matters for this. We've got to go down this direction. This whole thing is going clockwise. Okay, let's keep clockwise as the thing. So we can keep going clockwise down there. Make our way up and around, maybe like this. Let's just be careful not to change that. Oh, let's see. Just a second. Okay, so I need to get a bridge going in a few places. Make that out of granite. Another oh no, actually that was temporary. We can just get rid of that actually. A bit easier. Continuing on this way, let's make sure this is cut. So we do not want to go into our water system. This is the brine line, cooling line around the base. So I'm excited for this because this is the first time we're going to actually be dealing with heat by the thermal aquatuner. For the longest time, I've just been using the natural coolness, which is one of the advantages, actually, of having a world like this. So I still have that capability, but because I've got so much hydrogen, I just don't see why not to switch to a thermal aquatuner. Did we get our reed fiber? Okay, we did. We have that in here. I'm going to get the first piece to be planted right there. Now, there might be an issue. There's just too many pips. Let's see. Let's just take all this out. Otherwise, it'll probably continue to be a problem. I actually think we're far enough away. I don't even need to do this one at a time. I think this pip will be able to plant all three of these thimbleweed seeds, as long as I don't have any plants in the area. Don't think these ones are an issue. Cooling line is now starting to go through here. We're getting not a full amount. That's just because we need to do a cut right there. There, this is what I want to see, the brine in full going the way down. And this is the aquatuner. starting to run. I'm just thinking to myself, actually, wouldn't it make more sense to visit this? Because this is going to be a pretty hot area. As much as I like to go clockwise with everything, it might make sense to take in the last little bit of heat and then go and visit this guy. Could have also probably planned to bring pipes down there, but you know, it's already done. But I am going to make this change. I think that is worth it. So let's take out these liquid bridges. I'll switch this around. What can we do here? So let's change this out so we're going like this instead. And we're going to pop over this and go down. We will cut this. So essentially we want to go in here first. And then we want to go out this way. So actually, I want to cut this here, don't I? We want to have, what is this? This is the return line. Make that like that. I believe that is everything we need to get this working. I see oxygen is fairly low down here. We've got this electrolyzer over there, but maybe it would be time to bring in another one. Make that out of gold amalgam. Just it produces a bit of heat. I have to be careful though, because now I've established that I was running that. Let's see. Oh, I see a little bit of liquid on the floor. Alright, we need to move. We want to get an aqua tuner going. We'll need to do something like this. And bring in our water line. Let's just get rid of some of this garbage stuff. First wild thimbleweed growing on my base. Thanks, Pip. Let's put in that electrolyzer now. How about right here? Let's hold on. Did I choose a terrible? Yeah, I chose a terrible spot. Let's make sure that is moved over by 1. Let's try that again. Electrolyzer. How about right there? That is gonna need is some water and power. Put a little excuse me. Okay, we'll get a little bridge going down towards that. And we'll connect into this. Would not mind too if I brought this transformer down by 1. Just to avoid this little hump. Transformer is being taken out so that I can just get it down a little bit. It is taking them a little bit. Okay, there we go. Let's build this cobalt. How about right there? Just connect into that. And we should be good. See some wire. I can just clean up right there. So now with that, how about we start to run this machine? I'm going to put some storage bins here. Put in an auto sweeper. Make sure that auto sweeper can reach through the metal refinery like that. It's going to need some power. And how about we just start with a dozen pieces of gold amalgam and create some gold tiles in the future. Let's inspect this cooling line. It is in fact going down like this, changing directions so that we visit these two guys first. It is in need of cooling. That doesn't surprise me. What is the temperature? It's going in at 24 and going out at 10 degrees. That is going to have a very positive effect on the cooling conditions of the entire base. So very happy to have that. Also very happy to have the petroleum line going through the bottom of this, so that this guy has lots of material to work with. Let's just watch as Baker creates a piece of metal, gold in this case. So there it is. The hot liquid is making its way out and going through this radiant pipes, which is going to increase the heat. Eventually, this is going to turn to steam. I'm predicting with Thermo Echo Tuner and this thing running, it's probably not going to take that long before that goes to steam. Let's do a health check on these stables so that I can keep producing lots of meat. We've got 8, and 8. So these are being repopulated. Let's just check a few of these guys. Groomed. Let's see. Come on now. Let me pause it here. Groomed and groomed. So that is fine. Let's just check the pip stables. We've got to put in one more. I would very much like, and once we've got the pip stables ready to go up here, we're going to put automation for egg collecting. I might move some of these trees, so we'll relocate a few of those pip zones. That is going to take a certain amount of time, but I'm going to wait until the thimbleweed seed is up before I do that. Where are we, pips, with this? One more to go. This whole system is definitely worth celebrating, so it's a minor thing, but I'm going to give the dupes a light access when they eat on the base. So let's bring in a dupe sensor for that. I have one here and one here. Each one of these is going to have a light. Let's choose the decorative one that I've got available. And we can bring in some decoration. This is going to be, I think, the first painting. Or maybe I put a painting, actually, in the rocket. But anyway. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can get dupes to sit together. With that, we won't need this guy, but I'll keep it there for the time being. And we'll just cap it off with some ceiling trim in between the lights. And why not just do a corner piece right there. We'll put a carpeted tile right next to it. I'll continue that along. And since we've got tons of material now, we've got, in particular the cereed fiber, we should be decorating the barracks as well. Do that. The washroom's going to be a little bit more challenging, though we do have these carved, which is looking pretty good. Didn't even notice that until now. We will have to use... Actually, where is the decoration? It's the wrong one. Oh, we're at 120 anyway. Oh, you know what? Then all I'm going to do for that right here is just put in a few ceiling trims then along the top. And put in a corner piece in the front. Like that. Oh yeah, let's not forget some power. Let's check on the pip. Still haven't planted that third one. Should we get any other plants that might be in the way? Think I've spotted the pip. About to plant something? Yes, there we are. Very good job. So we've got 3.46 pieces, so not a lot to work with, but we'll start the process of filling in thimbleweed over here. Just making sure I don't have this cooling line, especially now that I've got a thermo regulator on it near these little plants, because these plants need to stay at least 22. Just doing a little bit of cleaning up here. We want to reestablish a few things first of all. Got our heavy watt wire. We got to get reconnected. We want to make sure we get our tube connected again so dupes can get out in space easily for future projects. And finally, let's get that fire pole back down. Make that out of cobalt. Down to there. I think that's all I have for today, but I'm quite happy about this. I've got my cooling system using a thermo echo tuner. I've got a system to produce some lots of metal with not having to worry about the heat. I'm going to start off by creating some steel, iron. That's going to allow me to do future projects with that. Let's do a little bit of a hunt. We've got our pip cap population is getting a little high. Definitely need to automate that. I'm hoping maybe in the next episode it would be lovely if we could do that. Let's just move this over so cleaner can be next to the rest of the dupes. Let's see. What are we doing from here? I mentioned the pip automation bot, and I'm a little worried about how this mission's going to go, but we're going to go to this world. In particular, I would like to get some of this stuff here, the sleet wheat, but this is an inverted asteroid, and there's hot magma at the top of this that I've got to get through, or I'm hoping there's going to be a channel to get through, so we'll see how that goes. Normally I get to be able to teleport into that world, but without teleportation, this is the only way to get there, by a rocket. So anyway, we'll wait for that another day, but I'm just glad for the time being that we've got a temperature management system on this asteroid. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you next time.